Hello, YouTube family. Welcome back to No More RIP, No More Resided in Poverty. My name is Ray Williams, and as usual, I talk about building personal wealth. First of all, give me the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, spread the word that financial literacy is power. Now, as you know, those of you who have watched my videos before, my objective is to educate, to provide you with a financial education that can help you build personal wealth. No, I don't talk about becoming a millionaire, even though you can become a millionaire if that's what you so desire. But my objective is to help you have a comfortable, financially stress-free life. I don't talk about driving Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Rolls Royces, living in mansions. That's not what I'm about. If that's what you're about, you can take this information and you can get to that level if that's what you want. But I basically want you to learn how to build personal wealth, especially if you're starting from scratch. If you are currently residing in poverty, if you are Mr. and Mrs. I.B. broke, and you would like to resurrect your income, then I have the videos for you. Okay, remember, thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Okay, what I will be talking about today is something that's very important. 5 things that will get you on the road to building personal wealth in 2025. I will explain them one by one. Financial literacy. Naturally, if you want to build personal wealth, you have to become financially literate. It doesn't mean you have to know how to play the stock market, how to play the options, how to become a professional real estate investor, even though it will help. But the basics of financial literacy, understanding interest rate, credit scores, buying real estate, maintaining life insurance, building assets, reducing debt, and all the other things that come along with building personal wealth. Number one, it is not difficult to build personal wealth. It's a matter of, say, motivation. You have to be motivated. So if you really want to build personal wealth, get motivated to do so. And the way you get motivated is by becoming financially literate. Number 2, a good credit score of at least 650. Now, more the better, but at least a 650 credit score. So if you're at 500, you're at 400, start working on your credit score. It doesn't take a lot. It does take time. Forget all the people who claim to be credit repair specialists. They talk about getting your credit score up to 700 in 60 days or less. If that was true, imagine how many people would have a 700 credit score. How many people would pay to get their credit score up to 700? And then on top of that, the people promoting it would be very wealthy. So don't believe the hype, but you can get your credit score up to 700 over a period of time. And that depends on each individual, how much money you have, how much discipline you have. But we want to get you at least a 650. Now, that doesn't mean you can't get credit if you have a lower credit score, because some lenders will loan or you can get credit, say, with less than a 650. You can buy a house with a credit score low as 500. So there are ways to still get credit. The only difference is you pay a slightly higher interest rate, which is not that bad. But focus on building your credit, not trying to get quick fix solutions. What I talk about is how you can legally get your credit scores up, how you can legally build wealth. Not overnight, but over time. Okay, next, debt ratio. Focus on getting your debt ratio, I recommend 35% or less. Now, as a former loan officer, I can guarantee you if you have a 35% debt ratio or lower and combine that with a 650 credit score, you can get credit almost anywhere. Your credit scores do not have to be perfect. Your debt ratio do not have to be perfect, but they have to be within a reasonable frame. And I say reasonable is 35%, because what that shows the lender is that you are good at managing your debt, that you are not overextending yourself. Your debt ratio is low. Your credit scores are high. So focus on number one, financial literacy. Number two, credit scores of at least 650, or at least increase your credit score. Set a goal time frame that you would like to be at a certain point, excuse me, and start working there. And if you watch my previous videos, I do give you step-by-step process on how to build credit scores, what it takes to get your credit scores up. So go back and watch my video on credit. Number four, reduce your debts, which again, that takes us back to number three, a low debt ratio. So focus on reducing debt. Now, I always recommend, and most professionals recommend the same thing. Start paying down your debt. Start with the lowest balance first. Why? Because you can pay off that lower balance quicker. Then you take that money and you roll it over into your next lower next lower balance. And then you get that one paid off. Then you take that money and you roll it over into your next. So start off with the lowest balance, pay off first, and then follow that same strategy for reducing your debt. Number five, investing in equities and real estate. Now, some of you may not be in a position to invest in real estate right away or in equities. That's where your savings and your reducing your debt come in. So once you start saving your money, you start reducing your debt, then you move over into investing in the stock market or investing in real estate. Now, personally, I recommend real estate first. Why? Because real estate, you can accumulate more growth at a quicker pace. And give you an example. And let's take, if you decide, let's just say if you have $10,000 that you want to invest, you can go and invest that money into the stock market. And let's just assume, or let me back up. You can invest in either the stock market or let's just say a certificate of deposit. But either way, you invest $10,000. Now, what happens? Let's start off with the CD, certificate of deposit. Doesn't pay very much, but let's just say if you can find a certificate of deposit that pay 5% annually, and you have $10,000. That won't get you very much money in the next 2 to 3, 4 years. assuming that you're stable at 5%. The bank constantly pay you 5%. And even if you compound at 5%, in 5 years, 10 years, you won't have a lot of money. Now, if you do it with the stock market, that's very flexible. It's hard to say because the market may go down, it may go up, it go down, it go up. So in 10 years, you may or may not. But now let's move to real estate. If you don't know, most people who become millionaires in America become millionaires through real estate. Sometimes it's by accident, is what I call it. And what I mean by that is that you have people who go out and buy a home. They live in that home for 10, 15 years. So happen it's in a appreciating area. The area is growing. The prices, the market for real estate is going up. And they end up with money. Then they take that money and they roll it over into another piece of real estate. And that real estate goes up in value. Next thing they know, in 10 years, they have $500,000 maybe, 300,000, maybe in some cases $1 million, depends. And now here's why I say real estate. Take that same $10,000. Let's say it's down payment on your. Now it won't get 10,000 won't get you a lot. But again, I am talking about people who are starting from scratch. You first of all buy what you can afford. So now let's take for example, and I'll use low dollar areas, particularly I can say some parts of Texas, some parts of other southern states where real estate values in some areas you can still find a property for less than $200,000. So let's say you can find a property, let's use a round number, 200,000. And assuming you get a FHA loan at 3.5% down. So 3.5% of $10,000, that would be about, I'm thinking about, let me redo that. Let's say 3.5% down, and you have 200. I said 10,000, but that's 200,000. So you're looking at approximately $7,000 down, plus your closing costs. So let's just round the numbers off and say for $10,000, you can get into a $200,000 home with $7,000 down plus say 3% closing costs. Now, doing it the right way, you buy below the appraised value. So if the property appraised for say 200,000, and you can get that property, let's just say for 190,000. So now you have automatically increased your net worth by $10,000. That's called equity. So you have $10,000 equity, so you're $10,000 ahead right off the bat, opposed to the stock market or the CD. The CD paying 5%, you wouldn't be $50 ahead. But if you put that same $10,000 down on real estate, assuming the example I just provided you, now you are $10,000 ahead. So look at it this way. 10,000, let's say, well, let's just go back. 7,000 down because the other 3,000 we used that for closing costs. So now you have your 7,000 in equity that you put down, plus you bought the property at a $10,000 discount. Now you're at 17,000. So that's $7,000. You made over 100% on that money right off the bat. So now you see how real estate works. Now you can do that however you want. You can play with that any kind of way. But it's just a very, say, simple example of what you can do if you invest in real estate. Number 6, a good financial coach. Good financial coach will save and make you a lot of money. How? Just like I explained. If you went to a financial coach and you know nothing, you have $10,000 and you're trying to find out what can I do with this $10,000. You go to the financial coach and the coach say, okay, what is it that you want to do? Where do you want to be in 3 years, 5 years? Do you have cash flow? A job, basically. Assuming that you can afford the house payments. So you go to your coach. Hey, coach, I got $10,000. What do you recommend? What do the coach do? The coach will look at your overall situation. The coach will look at your current credit score, your debt ratio, your net worth even. How much you worth on paper, your net worth. How much assets do you have? How much cash flow do you have? And once your coach look at all these things, they come up with a strategy. So let's say, for example, you want to accumulate, let's just say you're broke and you want to accumulate, build your net worth, or rather, to $100,000 over the next 2 years. This is your net worth, not cash. And your coach may say, okay, let's start off with seeing if you qualify to buy a home. Now, assume you do qualify to buy a home. And you go out and you buy that $200,000 home at $190,000. As I said before, you're $10,000 ahead right off the bat. Now, again, assuming everything is equal and you continue to work over the next, say, 5 years, you live in that property. And let's just say that property value go up to $230,000. You bought it at $190,000. It went up, the value went up by 30,000. It's a fast growth area. Appreciation is good. So now you are at $40,000 equity in your home. And you've been in the home, say, 3 years. And then you have $40,000 equity. Actually, you have more because you put $7,000 down. It appreciated $30,000. You went in $10,000 positives. So that's $40,000. So you have $47,000 in equity. So that's equal to basically $47,000 of net worth. Now, let's just say you decide you want to get another property. Actually, you have two choices. I would say stay in the property that you're in, find another property for your rental property. So now, let's assume that you have saved another $10,000 over 3 years, or $15,000. You take that and you go out and you buy your rental property. It don't have to be a fix-upper. It can be something that's in good condition, maybe need some cosmetics, but the objective is to buy below market. So again, let's assume that you have $10,000. Now, some people say, well, you can't get a house with $10,000 down. Yes, you can. It's a matter of finding the right situation. You may find an owner that's willing to carry a note with $10,000 down. You may find a low dollar property that you only need to put $10,000. Some people say, well, lenders won't loan. They want you to have 20% down. That depends. So it depends on your lender. And let's say you don't have, or no, let's say you do need $20,000, but you only have 10. Okay, you can go and refinance your home. You have equity, or you can get a line of credit, or you can find a partner who will invest $10,000, and you go in together. So there are various ways you can do it. But the point is, you invest your money again. You duplicate your real estate. Now, assuming that you purchase a property at $20,000 below value, and also assuming that in 3 years that property appreciate, say by $20,000. Now remember, you put $20,000 down. No, let's go back. Let's say you put $10,000 down. So now you have another $30,000 equity in that property, and you have $47,000 in the other property. So now you are at approximately what? Oh, let's see. We said about $67,000 to $70,000 in equity. And so let's say we're at let's just say we're at a 5-year time frame. So, but you see my point. My point is, it can be done. You can go from zero to having a net worth of $200,000-$300,000 in 3 to 5 years. And if you really get aggressive, you can do better. Let's say, for example, you save and you buy let's just say a duplex apartment instead of a single family house. That's even better, because now you have 2 units. You have a tenant that's paying part of your payment for the side you live in, plus they're paying for the other side. Plus you have your appreciation. So now you're in a better position with the duplex. Now, for those who don't know, you can also do the same thing with a 4-plex apartment, because a 4-plex can be purchased the same as a single family home. It is considered a single family home. So if you go out and you save your money, or you come up with the money to buy a 4-plex, now you have 4 units. You live in one, you rent the other 3 sides out. Using that scenario, assuming a good area, assuming appreciation, you may have a net worth of, in say 5 years, of maybe $400,000 to $500,000. So as you can see, this thing can snowball. It just depends on how you do it and what you put into it. But don't sit around doing nothing. Only people sit around doing nothing are those who don't want anything, or they don't have the initiative. They have a desire, but they do not have the initiative to do anything. Remember, give me the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, learn to invest your money, become financially literate. Thank you for watching. I'm tired.